What is servitization and why is it important? Tim?
So, if I can start, servitization is a name which is given to a change which is happening inside manufacturing companies. And what the change is rather than those companies competing only through the sale of a product, it is those companies also competing through the services which help customers to get more value out of the product. In simple words, it's about moving from competing on the basis of simply outputs and products to competing on the basis also of outcomes, customer outcomes.
Okay. Do you want to add something?
I'm really curious, and I want to ask you, Tim, what are really the differences between servitization and advanced services?
So servitization is the trend. Servitization is the process of a company competing more and more through services. And there are different types of services a company can actually offer. And what we do is we think of services being of three types. There are what we refer to as base services, where the customer is in effect sold the availability of the product. There is intermediate services, where the customer is sold services which support the condition of the product. And there are advanced services. And advanced services are those services which deliver for the customer business outcomes.
Okay, thank you. You said trend. What are the latest trends that are important or new in this industry?
I think one of the challenges that people like you have, Almudena, is that when you do your work, there's lots and lots of different trends, different topics which the organisation sees and is interested in, and has to kind of make sense of them. So I know that you get exposed to people who will come to talk to you about digital and the Internet of Things a few years ago, IoT, Industry 4.0, digital systems, digital technologies. I also know that you have people that will talk to you about things like subscription-based charging, and coupled with that, topics like the membership economy and such like. And you're in the middle of all this, like, you have to make sense out of them. Servitization, a lot of these things that you see, like digital and subscription, they're all components of a broader trend. But in our mind, the biggest trend is actually the shift in the customer appetite, how the customer appetite is actually changing. And invariably, the appetite is changing from products to products and services. A great example of that is your phone. Many years ago, people just went and bought a phone, and all they did was use it to make telephone calls. But today, the phone is so much more. It's a recorder, it's a dictionary, it's even a camera.
Yeah.
That's servitization. The mobile phone is a great example of servitization playing out in action.
Yeah, I get it. So, ecosystem is another trending word in this industry. But how ecosystem can be related to servitization?
Right. You're exactly right. There are terms which are used, and they are used without an awful lot of scientific foundation. Or rather, if there is scientific foundation out there, it isn't necessarily understood and shared amongst those people who actually use the term. Ecosystem is one of those examples. So is the business models as it happens. Ecosystem really refers to all the different stakeholders that you might be involved with to actually deliver a service or something. It's all the range of potential partners and customers. It's this constellation of organisations out there. You, though, have a particular business model, or group of business models, and those business models individually will have a value network, and a value network is those particular stakeholders in the broader ecosystem that you choose to work with to design and deliver that particular business model and that service proposition to the customers.
If I can add, because you describe the servitization process, and clearly we have been moving from a point in which we deliver the services for products, and we move now to the area in which we want to deliver services supporting customer outcome.
Yes.
And we are leader in technology manufacture, of course, and we are well recognized to do also the quality of our products. But thinking on customers' outcome, clearly we need something else. And clearly, if we really, our aim is providing the customer outcome, we cannot do alone. So for us, for a company like Omron, sometimes it's not easy to try to find the right connection with the expert in other areas. But definitely, if we want to be really customer-centric, we must do on the ecosystem method.
I would agree. And if I reflect upon strategy within Omron with such a broad portfolio of products, the first thing to do is to segment and to identify which of that portfolio, which products within that portfolio you should focus upon, because they're not all equal in terms of the appetite. So you focus on a small group, and then based on that small group, you go out to the customers, you decide customer value proposition, you have customer value proposition, and the value network to support that customer value proposition. So yes, absolutely. And there are examples out there of companies which work with, it's the whole series of channel partners, for a better phrase, coming together to deliver the customer value proposition, the business outcome. You must always remember that the customer is consuming outcomes at the end of the day. It's just at the moment, very often what's happening is they're buying products and services individually, and they internally are pulling these things together to achieve the outcomes they want. All you're doing is you're taking more of that activity which is currently inside the customer and you're putting it into your own organisation. And the consequence of that is that that's going to help you to build a stronger relationship with the customer through which you can add more value and it will be more sustainable.
Okay, good. ESG, carbon zero goals, sustainability, how these policies will affect to servitization? Okay,
so it's again a great question because net zero is a trend that we face. If we think about the megatrends actually affecting us, and of course different people have different perspectives on the megatrends, and there are a lot of megatrends out there. But net zero is a huge one, and the way, let's be clear, we have to get away from fossil fuels for a variety of reasons. What servitization of the firm can help you can do, ultimately, if you focus on delivering outcomes for the customer, then you seek to find the best possible combination of products and services to deliver those outcomes in a sustainable way. And that means that you reduce waste. And because you reduce waste, it becomes more sustainable. And I'll give you two examples to make the point. An example which has been written about for some time is DuPont selling paint to Ford. So DuPont Ford would buy paint to paint cars, and the guys inside DuPont would try and sell as much paint as they possibly could. Ford changed the model, and they said, we don't no longer want to buy paint for cars. What we want to do is we want to buy painted cars. We will pay for you on the basis of how good the car is painted. That meant that DuPont then sought to achieve that outcome with the least possible consumption of materials. And that was great for Ford because they got the outcome they want. It was great for the environment because DuPont were delivering the outcome with the minimum amount of materials. And it was good for DuPont because it helped them to develop a longer term, more profitable relationship with Ford. Another great example is your phone. Just look at all the different products that phone has replaced. The camera, the recorder, the record player, etc., etc. That's what's referred to as dematerialization, and that's what servitization is about. That's why it's so important for net zero, etc.
If I can add also the perspective from Omron, in my opinion, carbon zero is a great opportunity to accelerate the servitization process within Omron. Because, we are here in ATC Barcelona, and I think that you by yourself and the rest of the team experience how good is our technology and our content about automation or mobiles, all these things are amazing, this technology. But the thing is that in the transformation now, thanks to the carbon zero policy, and thanks also to a concept that is, IBER, about that,
Yes.
IBER data services and IBER energy management, that is the perfect equation just to use for automation technology, but using in a way in which we bring the full services package to customer, and we bring the value in connection with the main goal that is reducing carbon saving. And we are quite unique because we are capable just to deliver and to provide the technology. But now, thanks to the IBER concept, we can mature really fast on the servitization and the advanced services creation. All the ingredients are in, and it's more our challenge, or internal challenge, just to be able to escalate this type of business.
Absolutely. There is a great opportunity. Absolutely great
Absolutely.
opportunity.
And what are the main reasons for Omron to choose advanced services as a partner of servitization?
I think that in this moment, you already discovered the answer for yourself. I'm joking. The thing, Andrea, is that I see in the team and in Aston University unique value due to the fact that they are not, as we already discussed that a few times, you are not just consultants that come to the company and that say the things that they used to do, or the things that you do right, or the things that you do wrong. So they create for us safe environment in which they put the theoretical knowledge due to their research, their expertise from the university side, and we are capable just to bring from the other extreme all the operational and sales experience, business experience, and we can co-create together. So we can understand how theoretically things will be done, and we can try with their support just making working here in the Omron, within the Omron environment, with the Omron future. So I think it's really the reason, because we started a relationship, and I think that you are unique.
Thank you. Thank you. If I can just respond, if I may.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting. We also choose the companies we're going to work with because we are a research centre, and we're not a huge research centre. And we choose just to work with those companies which meet certain criteria. And those criteria are that they have got a history in products and production, and they have got an aspiration to move into the services space. But the third criteria, which is most critical, is they have the personalities and the people inside the firm who are open to ideas and open to challenging and thinking about these ideas. And that's what you guys are. You're wonderful to work with.
Thank you.
So to conclude this interesting and short interview, I would like to listen your tips for these companies or those companies that are starting now with servitization. So please.
I would give one tip. To get moving with servitization inside a firm, first thing to do is build a coalition. And the coalition means a group of stakeholders with a shared vision, shared understanding, and a shared energy to move forward with this. Once you've got that in place, the rest of the journey, I won't say it's straightforward, but you will make progress.
Absolutely agree with your team on this aspect, and it's something that we learn also due to the experience, and it's something that maybe we did not do properly at the beginning of the journey. But definitely, I think servitization is not my topic anymore. It's the topic of Omron, the whole company, because we really want just to make the company in a good position and be leading, of course, based on the automation and the IBER concept. And as I say, it's not my personal job. It's in the end the dream of the full company. And as you say, is in relation to find the good connection within people inside in the right moment, and just making it working together.
Okay, so thank you to you both. It has been really interesting to listen from you, and I hope to have you here soon, and for sure you too.
Thank you so much, Andrea. We have to say that it was amazing just to have the chance to work together with you these 4 days. So thank you for everything.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.